Hello, and welcome back on our trip of endless cane juice rums from around the world. This time we're doing Vietnam. Sampan Overproof Rhum Vietnam. This is so this was distilled in July 25th, 2019. It was actually rested a little bit before bottling. Okay, what to say about this? So first of all, I should say, so Vietnam does produce its own quite a lot of rum in a kind of inox style that's kind of locally made. Very little of it gets outside the country. This is not that. This is made at the Distillerie Dinochen by actually a Frenchman named, I'm going to read this, Antoine Pourcuitte. And so it's basically made in an agricole style on a copper column, sort of French style short column still. So it is not, despite being from Vietnam, it is actually not particularly traditional. This is much more of like a Vietnamese, or I would say a take on French-style agricole rum, cane juice based, made using Vietnamese materials more so than a Vietnamese style rum, if you like. The name Sampan, named after the little boats, and even this imagery of like the ship and the it kind of speaks to it's a little bit Orientalist for my taste, but you know, we're gonna take it, we're gonna roll with it, see how good it is. So this is made at the Distillerie Dinochen in where is this made? Quảng Nam province. And again, they have a whole line. This is the Overproof. And I should say about that, first of all, it isn't. Second of all the things that Vietnam has been subjected to, and there's quite a lot, thankfully, one of the few that wasn't was British rule. So the very concept of proof, British proof anyways, and overproofness, should not be applying here. What I would really love is to see like a return to the concept of strong rum in place of just calling every rum bottled at slightly higher strength overproof. Just call it strong rum or very strong rum if it's particularly strong. I know it's fallen out of fashion now, but that has more meaning than this appeal to like a system of measuring alcohol that never made a whole lot of sense in the first place. Just stop it. Stop. Even if you're going to use it properly and go by the 100 proof equals 57% thing, like why? Just use strong and very strong. Whatever. I shouldn't be that bothered by this. Okay, so again. Distilled in 2019, but then aged in tank for like over a year, actually bottled in 2020. That's also a very French thing to do. It's aging things in demijohns or in stainless steel tank for a little bit, just to let them rest. What else to say about this? So it's pure cane juice, again, from local Vietnamese stuff. And let's see what we got here. 54% alcohol. So the nose is pungent. Let's start with that. I am getting a lot of black licorice, like salted black licorice. A lot of pepperiness. There's some ketchup. There's some pickle juice. It actually took me a long time to nail down that ketchup note. This is not like high-end artisanal ketchup that costs like $6 or $7 a bottle. This is like ketchup that is trying to get as far away from its tomato roots as possible, but it's still ketchupy. And there's kind of like a gummy worm thing going on here. It's very fun and weird and powerful. It's also slightly medicinal. There's a kind of crushed aspirin thing going on. It's like minerality, which I get a lot on cane juice rums, but it's not quite. It's not really rocks. It's more like you crushed up some aspirin, but nice. A lot of lime, lime juice, but also peel, grapefruit peel, some kiwi peel, like a wet plants. So like plants after after a rainstorm, like Hoyas after a rainstorm, put it that way. And then like this very weird floral note, which I'm totally into. Like almost like you pickled some flowers, if that makes sense. And some Smarties to add to the kind of list of candies going on here. It's very fun. I would love to sort of side by side this with a more traditional Vietnamese rum or Vietnamese arak or whatever they, I don't even know what they call it over there. Unfortunately, I don't really have one on hand because I couldn't get one. But you know, without context, I'm really enjoying this. This is a great nose. Well, not a great nose, a really good nose. On the palate, again, pungent, intense. So rocks, lots of rocks, lots of minerality going on here. There's some like crushed pink peppercorns. There's some kind of aromatic pepper. That aspirin thing, the crushed aspirin thing. Wet leaves. So again, like wet Hoya leaves again. Wet flowers, like almost wet flower petals, like you just isolated the petals. And a lot of that is on the happening on the front end. On the back end, I mean, the rocks and the pepper stick around, but then on the back end, you start to get more Smarties and more gummy worms kind of showing up. There's a little bit of like a cinnamony, cinnamon chewing gum. Big Red is happening here. There's a touch of salted licorice, less than on the nose, but still there. And then our old friends, brine, seawater, and olives. So it's much more almost like candied and less vegetal and green than on the nose. The finish is very long and impressively, again, deep. It kind of goes, it's not just that it holds with the kind of rocky, peppery, but then, you know, like Smarties and gummies above that thing. It's that it goes way back in my mouth. Like my entire mouth is covered in this, which is very impressive. It feels, I don't know how they're making this. It doesn't feel like it's wild fermented or anything. I'm not getting those, you know, really intense green notes that I would get from wild fermentation. I'm guessing the yeast is coming out of a bag, but the cane is speaking really, really vividly here. This doesn't remind me of, I mean, in some ways it reminds me of the French Caribbean because it's just in that same style, but it's a different terroir, and I am appreciating that. So I'm going to give this a squirt of water, a couple squirts of water, and we'll come back to it. Yeah, so, I mean, it is really good, though. I mean, this does kind of present, how do I put, where do I start with this? That's my phone, I apologize. This does present like a little bit of a paradox for those of us who love hunting down slightly rustic, you know, spirits of all kinds, because so on the one hand, this is not some kind of like pure expression of what they're, you know, actually drinking out there in Vietnam. This is not that at all. But on the other hand, like this the kind of refined, westernized, if you like, expression of what Vietnamese cane can do is still really good. So it's a little bit of a paradox for someone like me who really wants just, you know, give me your cane and whatever yeast has been sitting on it, just, you know, and whatever pot still setup you got, and throw it in my face, to kind of, you know, accept that, okay, maybe it's a little Orientalist, maybe it's the sampan thing, the French guy distilling, you know, cane juice rum in Vietnam thing. Maybe I just have to accept that stuff can be good regardless of the circumstances and the branding that produces it. I don't know. This is pretty solid, anyways. All right, maybe I've flip-flapped enough. We will go back and get some further notes on this now that it's had some water added. Ooh. With water, this becomes much smokier. Much smokier. So there's some like campfire notes coming out. Some mesquite, of all things. A little like burned plastic going on. So like you set the interior of a new, you know, Corolla on fire, that kind of thing. The brininess also comes out a little bit more, but we're losing a lot of the other elements, like the ketchup, the pickly juice, the olives, even the kind of medicinal notes and the fruitiness. They all kind of like pull back with the addition of water, which is kind of a problem. So you're gaining a little, but you're losing a little. On the palate, kind of the same story, but more so. So there's the smoky thing going on. There's the seawatery thing going on. There's some licorice. I'm getting that. But overall, it gets much, much simpler with water. I'm losing kind of a lot of what's going on. It's not a disaster. It doesn't fall apart when you add water to it. That can happen. But you're losing more than you're getting. So I would say this is a spirit to drink neat. Otherwise, so I'm gonna note that in the score. But otherwise, this is very good. This is very good indeed. Yeah, let's give this an 87 minus. The minus because it doesn't like water that much. This is very solid. It's not. It's something where, were I myself to do more of a deep dive into Vietnam, which I would love to do now, I suspect I could find stuff using these kind of same materials, the same cane, that would run circles around this. But regardless, I have to give this credit. This is very, very good, very well made. 87 minus for Sampan Overproof rum from Vietnam. And thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying this installment of the cane juice rum from around the world. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and cheers. Bye.